Aloha, and welcome to the 2021 John A. Burns School of Medicine White Coat Ceremony. May I ask you to please take your seats and place your cell phones and pagers on silent. Good evening. I'm Dr. Kamal Masaki, Chair of the Department of Geriatric Medicine at the John A. Burns School of Medicine. I'm very pleased to serve as your Mistress of Ceremonies today. We are very happy to be holding this event as a hybrid program in these still unusual times. As part of our COVID precautions, we have a limited audience tonight with 2 guests per student and a limited number of faculty members in person here at McKinley High School. We know that our students have many people who are celebrating their achievements and are live streaming on the JABSOM YouTube channel, so your ohana can view this exciting event from home. If there are any unforeseen technical issues, the ceremony is being recorded and will be available as soon as possible. Due to current COVID conditions, we do have some protocols we will ask you to follow so that everyone can stay safe. Please keep your masks on and maintain physical distance from those not in your family at all times. Please stay seated during the ceremony. We will have lots of photos available at the JABSOM Flickr site for you to download. All of our social media links are located at the bottom of the JABSOM website. So you know, those on stage have been fully vaccinated and may not be wearing masks for certain parts of the program. At the end of the program, we will ask you to meet your new your new students outside in the courtyard, Diamond Head side of the auditorium. And please remember to continue physical distancing. Please do not gather inside the building. McKinley High School also asks that you not give any lei on the campus. Sorry, that was a very long list of restrictions, but we all want to get through this together, so mahalo for your cooperation. This evening is an introduction of new students, an acknowledgement of several people, and the commencement of a commitment to service. We anchor the stages in our life with ceremonies. Ceremonies that commonly conclude in a set of promises or a contract. Obvious other examples are marriages and oaths to defend the country. We will do that here tonight. Dr. Kalani Brady, Associate Professor of the Department of Native Hawaiian Health at the John A. Burns School of Medicine, will start the procession with the chant, Oli Komo.
Eina mai la kamakane mai, mai uku mai la iwi po'oke la. Ka iua ka iana leo ka lai, o pili ana no ko iwi no. Eina mai la kamakane mai, mai uka mai la iwi po'oke la. Ka iua ka iana leo ka lai, ho puka ana no ko iwi no. Eina mai la kamakane mai, mai uka mai la iwi po'oke la. Ka iua ka iana leo ka lai, ho pili ana no ko iwi no. Eina mai la kamakane mai, mai uka mai la iwi po'oke la. Ka iua ka iana leo ka lai, ho puka ana no ko iwi no. Eina mai la kamakane mai, mai uka mai la iwi po'oke la. Ka iua ka iana leo ka lai, ho pili ana no ko iwi no. E ina mai la kamakane mai, mai uka mai la iwi po o ke la. Ka iua ka I ana leo ka lai, ho puka ana no ko iwi no. E ina mai la kamakane mai, mai uka mai la iwi po o ke la. Ka iua ka I ana leo ka lai, ho pili ana no ko iwi no. E ina mai la kamakane mai, mai uka mai la iwi po o ke la. Ka iua ka I ana leo ka lai, ho puka ana no ko iwi no. Ko nui ko iki ko loa ko poko ko waho ko loko ko amamau no na kawakau. E ko mai ana I ka aina e hulu hua nei. E ko mai ana I ka vai e hu a e nei. E ko mai ana I ka vai vai o ke kai. E ko mai ana I Kalani, Kalani nui a kea. E ko mai ana I ka hana pono o ka poe e. E ko mai ana ka mana ho kaulike vale e. Ko nui ko iki ko loa ko poko ko waho ko loko ko amamau no na kawakau.
Mahalo, Dr. Brady. That was a wonderful Oli. No one can do Olis as well as Dr. Brady. We would like to recognize some people now. We would like to recognize some people now. The Friends of the Medical School, the Hawaiʻi Medical Foundation, the JABSOM Alumni Association, United Health Partners, PMAG, the Pacific Medical Administrative Group, the JABSOM Class of 2023, Navy Recruiting Hawaii, and the staff of the McKinley High School for their generous donations of times and resources to help support tonight's event. Mahalo to the many individuals who have made donations to tonight's event. We thank all of you for sharing in this very, very special evening. Distinguished and honored guests, parents, families, respected faculty and alumni, my esteemed physician colleagues, and most of all, students of the John A. Burns School of Medicine class of 2025. Aloha and welcome to the JABSOM Ohana. Tonight, with the support of our community partners, Queens Health Systems, Hawaii Pacific Health, and Kaiser Permanente Hawaii, I welcome you to the White Coat ceremony for the class of 2025. The more than 4,000 alumni of this medical school since its first graduating class in 1975, together with the graduates of its residency training programs, comprise the majority of practicing physicians in the state of Hawaii. JABSOM physicians are expected to give medical care, provide healthcare leadership, conduct research, educate, all in service of Hawaii as well as to the nation at large. We welcome these future physicians to the community today with the expectation that they will learn well, practice compassionately as caregivers to us all. It is my pleasure to introduce the Dean of the John A. Burns School of Medicine, Dr. Jerris Hedges, who will offer some welcoming remarks.
Mahalo. Thank you very much, Dr. Masaki, for those wonderful words. And aloha and good evening to all of you who are here with us in the audience, to our newly minted JABSOM students, to the faculty who will be assisting with the cloaking along with alumni, and also thank you very much to all of you on YouTube, supporters of these fine young students who will be our future practitioners for Hawaii and the nation. We really appreciate your support in both helping get them to this point, but also your help in the future as they work on their course of study, which will be challenging, but will be intensely rewarding for them. So your assistance, your support will be appreciated throughout their course. And we hope many of you will be with us on Ohana Day to hear a little bit more about some of the support families can give and some of the services that we provide in supporting those families through the Friends of the Medical School and other organizations. So please consider being there tomorrow. Also, I'd like to note that this class of 2025, upon their graduation, will be marking our 60th anniversary since the founding of this medical school. Now, we haven't had graduates all of those 60 years, and for the first 7 to 8 years, we had a 2-year program, and our students had to leave the state, complete their training elsewhere. But we're so pleased that we've been able to not only establish the 4-year school and many residency programs in which these students can match and stay and practice and learn their craft here in Hawaii, but we've also developed an extremely strong reputation nationally as a center of excellence in education, in research and health disparities, and connectivity between our medical school and the community. So we are proud of these students, and they will become increasingly proud of the school which they're attending. But I want to thank you all for being here and helping recognize this transition. Although it's the end of this week, we are truly welcoming these students into our profession as healers. They'll be called upon to work with patients during their training. They will often work with family members. Many of you will have a different sort of interaction as they practice their clinical exam skills with you, listen to some of your health issues, and undoubtedly, you'll bring a few questions their way. I have had a blessed career and had the opportunity when I was a medical student to guide a number of my family members towards necessary health care, including helping my father get an artificial heart valve as he was entering the final stages of heart failure. And so seeing how much even a student can impact the lives of others is truly inspirational. So watch these students grow, watch them develop, and be a part of that process because they are our future. Aloha. Thank you for your assistance.
Thank you for your wise remarks, Dr. Hedges. The originator of the White Coat ceremony, Dr. Arnold Gold, founder of the Arnold Gold Foundation, writes, On each white coat you receive today is a gift from our foundation, a pin bearing our logo, a golden Mobius loop symbolizing the continuous bond of trust, respect, and communication that connects healthcare professionals with their patients. He hopes that you will continue to wear this pin as a daily reminder of this evening's ceremony and of the pledge you make as you enter into your professional life as a physician in training. He sends congratulations to each of you and to your families. On your left lapel is a pin with the JABSOM emblem. This pin is worn with pride by our JABSOM faculty and alumni. Tonight, this pin welcomes you into the larger JABSOM Ohana. Finally, we would like to thank our scholarship donors for investing in the future of healthcare in Hawaii by providing support for our medical students. At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce this year's keynote speaker, Dr. Travis Hong. He currently serves as an assistant professor in the Department of Pediatrics, specializing in pediatric emergency medicine at the John A. Burns School of Medicine. Dr. Hong was selected by his fellow faculty to receive the 2021 Leonard Toe Humanism in Medicine Award, presented by the Arnold P. Gold Foundation, in recognition of his commitment to compassion and sensitivity in the delivery of care to patients and their families. The title of his keynote address this evening is Ending by Beginning. Please welcome Dr. Travis Hong.
Thank you, Dr. Masaki. Dean Hedges, Doctors Buenconsejo-Lum, Burgess, and Teranishi, thank you for the opportunity to address the John A. Burns School of Medicine class of 2025. To the newly inducted students of this class, please allow me to welcome you into an ancient profession steeped with respect and tradition, as you walk in the same footsteps of the countless physicians who share the hallowed halls of this medical school. You too have now earned the right to extol the virtues of rest and nutrition to your friends while you live off 3 hours of sleep, dried ramen, and Starbucks. And to your parents, I applaud your restraint in choosing a career path for your child. They should rightfully pick which medical school they apply to. I'm here today to tell you that from this point onwards, your journey as a physician will be shaped by endings and beginnings. I realize that sounds backwards, sort of like eating dessert first and finishing with a salad, but one of the most valuable times for growth as a physician is right after a chapter of your life ends. Each of you probably remembers the moment you found out you were accepted into medical school. It may have been followed by a well-deserved sense of pride and perhaps excited anticipation of what comes next. You might consider that moment as the beginning of your journey in medicine. Take a second, however, to reflect on what you accomplished to get to this point. All that hard work in pre-med classes, MCAT studying, research, and volunteering. In reality, your journey in medicine started years ago, and the pinnacle of that chapter in your life was matriculation into medical school. Now is the time to finish reflecting on what you've accomplished so far, but the greater value lies in transitioning forward to the next chapter of your career. Because the next 4 years will be some of the most memorable in your life. As future physicians, you will experience times that draw heavily upon your compassion, push your resilience to its limits, fill your soul with happiness, and wrench your heart with despair. Throughout it all, remember that you are here for a singular reason: to care for your patients. Caring for your patients sounds simple enough, but what exactly does that mean? To start, it goes far beyond knowing the right answer or passing a test. That is still important, of course, but by virtue of sitting here tonight, you already excel at those things. That was the focus of a previous chapter in your life. Now, to care for your patients means not only healing their body and mind, but also treating them with respect, communicating with empathy, and demonstrating compassion. These are skills that every physician must possess, but how do we use them for our patients' benefit? It may surprise you to discover that you already own all the tools you need. They include a genuine smile, a comforting touch, a shared laugh, a thoughtful listen, or a moment sitting at the bedside. All of these things are things that only a human can provide to another human being and can never be replaced by an iPad or an IV pump. Such seemingly small gestures require very little from you, but make all the difference in the care of our patients. I promise you that long after your patient finishes their medicine or goes home from the hospital, their best memory will be of the humanism you gifted them during your time together. The most important piece of advice I received in medical school was to treat every patient like they were my own family. It stuck with me early on because it just made sense, and it was very easy to do when the patient was around my age or older, because I could simply imagine that they were my mother, father, brother, or best friend. I think, or at least hope, that it helped me provide good care for my patients. I continued through my pediatric residency and fellowship, thinking that I was pretty good at this doctoring thing, and I took great pride that even in the midst of frantically distressed parents or complete swirling chaos, I could calmly suture a screaming child's face or intubate a distressed baby. I thought my calm demeanor would show these parents that I cared about their child, and everything would be okay. Crying children simply didn't bother me, and the sound faded into the background of a busy emergency department. A few years later, my beautiful daughter was born, and we brought her home that first night. I fell asleep knowing that I trained 6 years for this moment, and being a pediatrician, I got this. 2 hours later, I woke up to the sound of her crying. I immediately became sweaty, shaky, frozen with nausea, and completely useless to anyone. In essence, I had instantly become that parent that couldn't handle hearing their baby cry. My paralysis eventually subsided, and as my very sensible wife fed our daughter, I now understood how a tiny crying infant could reduce grown adults to tears. More importantly, I realized that through all these years of training, I had been anything but empathetic and compassionate towards my patients' parents. It was a painfully humbling moment in my life, but by ending that chapter and beginning the next as a new father, it forced me to grow as a physician. And it taught me to buy a good pair of noise-canceling headphones before my next kid was born. I firmly think that one of the most important factors in becoming a successful physician is having a growth mindset. It is a belief that talent can be developed, regardless of innate abilities, through hard work and learning from failures. The reason a physician's work is called a practice is because we should always strive for improvement. The knowledge and skills you have accumulated up to this point are only the foundation for a lifetime of learning. Going through medical school is an inherently difficult process that requires resilience and grit to complete. You won't ace every test, and not every patient will go home. How you respond to these challenges will define your career. Now, remember that you applied and were accepted into medical school during a global pandemic, and despite all of the extra hurdles thrown in your path, you made it and are sitting here tonight. I applaud you for that, because just like physicians during this pandemic, you overcame uncertainty and adversity to reach your goals. I hope you remember this and find it a source of strength during difficult times. This first week of medical school is the beginning of your own path through medicine, and today will be one of many signposts throughout your life. As you are cloaked in your white coat, please remember that you are embarking on a journey that is filled with exceptional privilege and great humility, where complete strangers will allow you into some of their most private and significant moments. Always remember to see them as people. Treat them as if they were your own family, and heal them to the best of your ability. Cherish and learn from the past chapters of your life while looking forward to the future. As the Roman philosopher Seneca wrote, every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. It is truly an honor to speak here tonight, and I thank you for your time. Congratulations again to the class of 2025. Along with the faculty here tonight, I look forward to watching you grow and fulfill your potential as the next group of amazing and humanistic physicians. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Hong. Thank you for that great speech and also for being a role model for our students and for all of us, for humanism and compassion in medicine. In addition to receiving their first white coats from alumni, faculty, and physician mentors, students will receive personal stethoscopes as a gift from the Hawaiʻi Medical Foundation. This evening, Dr. Myron Shirasu will assist in the presentation of the stethoscopes from the Hawaiʻi Medical Foundation. Dr. Shirasu, would you please come to the podium? Dr. Shirasu will say a few words about the Hawaiʻi Medical Foundation and its gift to each student. Please welcome Dr. Shirasu.
Good evening, class of 2025. You are a select group. I was given a number of 2,894 applicants to the first class, and you 77 represent 2.7% of the applicants. So you are elite, you are terrific. Congratulations. You know, as tough as it is to get into the medical school, there's another professional school that's even harder to get into. And my nephew, who is a veterinarian, told me that only 1% of those who apply to vet school gets in. In fact, my nephew tried 3 years before he got in. He says some of his friends, if they fail to get into the vet school, apply to medical school and go to become a doctor. Tonight, in addition to the white coat, you will be getting a stethoscope from the Hawaiʻi Medical Association and its foundation. The foundation survives by getting contributions from physicians and other medical entities. This year, we were fortunate to have a sizable donation by one physician who practically paid for the whole set of 77 stethoscopes. She is the president-elect of Hawaiʻi Medical Association. She is also the chair of the Department of OBGYN at Kalani Medical Center. So in your clinical years, when you do your rotation through Kalani, and if you should run into someone named Dr. Angela Pratt, please say, thank you, Dr. Pratt, for the stethoscope that you're using in the hospital. And just to put the name and the face together, Angela Pratt is in the audience. Angela, could you stand up and wave to the audience here? Okay. Thank you. And again, congratulations on your acceptance to the medical school, and study hard and use your stethoscope with diligence. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Shirasu. Students will also receive a book titled He Alo A He Alo, Aloha Aku, Aloha Mai, or Face to Face, Care and Compassion from Our Hearts, presented by the Friends of the Medical School. The president of this association, Dr. Lucy Wong, will present the books this evening. The Friends of the Medical School have been supporting the White Coat ceremony with their donations since 2002. I invite Dr. Wong to say a few words about the Friends of the Medical School and its gift to each student. Dr. Wong?
Hello, sorry, I didn't know I was supposed to do this. So the Osler booklet was put on by your own students, alumni, faculty, and it's kind of like a friend. So it's a friend that gives advice to you to go ahead and have something to have in your pocket so you can actually bring out and get some help along your career. So this booklet was put on by the Osler Society, which Dr. Parsa actually put on, and among your students. So the students have written it, the faculty, alumni, and so it's a gift of advice to you. And sorry, I was not prepared for this. I apologize. Thank you. I hope you enjoy it.
Thank you, Dr. Wong. There are two organizations which exist solely to support the medical school: the John A. Burns School of Medicine Alumni Association and the Friends of the Medical School. While only graduates can belong to the Alumni Association, the Friends of the Medical School membership is open to everyone, to parents, grandparents, spouses, and friends. It is a tremendous way to support each of these students and the medical school. Donations are always welcome. The white coats that are the emblematic centerpieces of tonight's program were once called Cloaks of Compassion by Dr. George McKinney, JABSOM class of 1989. At this time, I would like to invite Dr. Hedges to take his position. I also ask that Dr. Lawrence Burgess, Director of the Office of Student Affairs, and Dr. Kristen Teranishi, Assistant Director of the Office of Student Affairs, come to the podium to begin their presentations.
Thank you. I'd like to call faculty cloakers, Drs. Jill Omori and Dr. Richard Kusuya to the stage, please. Emily Erica Akoba. Kainan Agonias. Aaron Anik. Lauren Au, cloaked by mentor, Dr. Lauren Yamamoto. Ashley Barley. Amanda Beeman. Eduardo Biala Jr., cloaked by mentor Dr. Kellyanne Volish. Hannah Bulosan, cloaked by Mother Dr. Donna Bulosan. Madeline Chai. Xin Chang. Amanda Chow. Carly Coleman, cloaked by mentor Dr. Claire Hughes. Andy Conching. Chloe Delores. Roxanne Erlin. Vanessa Freitas, cloaked by mentor Dr. Kellyanne Bolish. Benjamin Gozin, cloaked by Father Dr. Benjamin Gozin. Jeffrey Hayashi. Cameron Ho Ching. Jonathan Hu. I'd like to call Dr. Lee Buenconsejo-Lum and Dr. Travis Hong as cloakers. Roxana Hu. Theodore Huo. Marissa Inoue. Julia Jahansus. Francesca Anella Johnson. Alyssa Kamioka, cloaked by mentor Dr. Bliss Kaneshiro. Brooke Kawamura. Samir Kejriwal, cloaked by Father Dr. Kamal Kejriwal. Joshua Kepler, cloaked by Father Dr. Ken Kepler. Carly Keita, cloaked by Father Dr. Derek Keita. Nathan Kim, cloaked by Father Dr. Jonathan Kim. Lauren Kirkwood Johnson, cloaked by Father Dr. Richard Hockett. Zoan Khan, cloaked by Father Dr. Kevin Khan. Tiffany Kurosawa, cloaked by mentor Dr. Kellyanne Bolish. Derek Larson. Anson Lee. Ashley Lee, cloaked by mentor Dr. Kellyanne Volish. Avapuhi Lee, cloaked by mentor Dr. Naileen Andrade. Benjamin Lee, cloaked by mentor Dr. Kellyanne Volish. This time, I'd like to call Drs. Omori and Kasuya back on stage and introduce Dr. Kristen Teranishi.
Brennan Lee. Saskia Leonard. Baoxing Haley Liang, cloaked by mentor Dr. Dominic Chow. Mark Lindquist, cloaked by mother, Dr. Mary Lindquist. Kevin Liu. Nicholas Liu, cloaked by father Dr. Alfred Liu. Jonathan Loy. Michelle Liu. Stephanie Lum. Elliot Markel. Stephanie Matsuura. Lauren Muraoka. Ryan Wynn. Carrie Niino. Scott Nishioka, cloaked by mentor Dr. Craig Chena. Julia Ohlers. Riley Parks. Chantel Pasquale, cloaked by mentor Dr. Kellyanne Volich. Christian Paulo. Welcoming back JABSOM faculty cloakers, Dr. Buenconsejo-Lum and Dr. Hong. Jordan Peterson. Kylie Popovich. Dylan Putzler. Alyssa Roberts. Erica Rickman. Ayumi Sakamoto. Jennifer Sato. Jason Sato, cloaked by grandfather Dr. Dexter Sato. Caitlin Shirai, cloaked by mentor Dr. Kellyanne Volich. Michaela Sunleitner. Lauren Sternberg. Erica Sumida. Luke Taylor, cloaked by Sister Dr. Jana Taylor. Anna Mintu Ung. Kelly Watanabe, cloaked by mentor Dr. Robin Takata. Edward Weldon IV, cloaked by Father Dr. Edward Weldon. Jamie Wong, cloaked by mentor Dr. Natasha Ching. Kristen Wong, cloaked by mentor Dr. Cass Nakasone. And last but not least, we have Marcus Yamamoto, cloaked by mentor Dr. Kalani Brady. And let's give a round of applause for the class of 2025.
That was really nice. Welcome, students. Welcome to the JABSOM Ohana. It is now my pleasure to ask Dr. Lee Buenconsejo-Lum, Associate Dean for Academic Affairs, to lead the class of 2025 in the Hippocratic Oath.
Thank you very much. Hello, class. Good to see you again. This time I'm a little taller than you. The other day we were in the auditorium and I'm very height challenged and they're all towering. But really to the class of 2025, parents, family, esteemed guests and faculty and mentors, very privileged to be here with you today. And to those of you in the audience, thank you for joining us, and on virtual audience as well. We're very happy to celebrate your entry into the profession of medicine. And while this event has been altered due to the pandemic, it is no less important. Your restatement of the Oath of Hippocrates in a few minutes is perhaps more important than it has ever been. The Hippocratic Oath was written in the 5th century BC, and it is one of the oldest documents in history. While the creators intended it to be a binding covenant, modern doctors see the oath as a promise to uphold the art of medicine and act in the patient's interests. As medicine and society have changed, physicians have changed the oath to accommodate these shifts in medicine. Several phrases are particularly appropriate in this time when we see so much suffering and injustice in our state, our country, and across the world. As medical students, if you can approach your studies and each patient and family by trying to see the world through their lenses, through their histories, their framework and circumstances, all of that will help you to better ministrate without discrimination and to care generously and honestly. Patient confidentiality now includes social media, HIPAA, and other protections in this increasingly digital world fraught with all sorts of hacks. Upholding the highest behavioral standards for yourself and your peers includes adhering to quickly changing guidance to keep us all safe from COVID. And it will change. So let's all take a closer look at the definition of the word ministration. It comes from the Latin word ministrare, or wait upon. In English, the verb minister, attending to the needs, providing, and being a servant. Indeed, medicine is first and foremost a service profession, and it is what you all said in your application to medical school. My hope for all of you is that you not only develop into excellent physicians, but also servant leaders. We, as your teachers, pledge to help you achieve that. So please join me in restating the Oath of Hippocrates, which is in your program. And if you could all stand up, please, and certainly any physicians in the audience, please stand up and turn to your program. I swear by all I hold most sacred, and before my family, my teachers, and my peers, that to the best of my abilities, I will keep this oath and stipulation to honor all who have taught me this art, and in the same spirit and dedication to impart a knowledge of medicine to others. I will continue with diligence to keep abreast of advances in medicine and respect those who broaden our knowledge by research. I will treat without exception all who seek my ministrations, discriminating against no one, so long as the treatment of others is not compromised thereby. And I will seek the counsel of particularly skilled physicians, where indicated for the benefit of my patient. I will remember that caring for the patient will be my primary concern, and while doing so, I will honor the autonomy of the sick. I will recognize that such caring requires my being available, giving my time generously, communicating honestly, and comforting as well as treating. Such care also involves offering my support to my patients' loved ones. I will maintain all patient confidentiality and uphold the highest ethical, moral, and behavioral standards for myself and my peers. My behavior will always be honorable, thoughtful, and reflect justice towards all humanity. My fiduciary role will require protecting patients from all forms of malpractice, malfeasance, and unnecessary expenses, and I will try to prevent as well as cure disease. While I continue to keep this oath inviolate, may it be granted to me to enjoy life and the practice of the art and science of medicine, respected by my peers and society. May my faith strengthen my resolve to attain the above. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Buenconsejo-Lum. The Friends of the Medical School present an award for community contributions. Dr. Lucy Wong, will you please come up to the podium? Dr. Wong is going to present the James S. Burns Community Service Award.
Thank you. I'm back, and I knew about this one, so don't worry. Okay. Judge James S. Burns, son of Hawaii's Governor John A. Burns, for whom this school is named, dedicated himself to our medical school. He served on the board of directors for the Friends of the Medical School, and each year gave the charge to the newly clad student doctors at this white coat ceremony. To continue his legacy, in 2017, the Friends of the Medical School established the honorary James S. Burns Award. Recipients of the award will, in the image of Judge Burns, have demonstrated an outstanding and undying dedication to the betterment of the medical school over their lives. Awardees may be alumni, faculty, or community. The 2021 James S. Burns awardee was unanimously selected by the nomination committee. This year's awardee graduated in 1984 from the University of Hawaii with a BA in biology. Graduated from JABSOM in 1989 and completed his residency at the University of Hawaii Internal Medicine Program in 1993. In 2000, he obtained his Master of Science in Education from the University of Southern California. Some of his notable roles included the interim director and director of the Office of Medical Education for 10 years, interim director of Faculty Affairs and unit director of the medical school's MD1 course. He also acted as Associate Dean for Medical Education between 2009 and 2015, which was a critical time for the medical school's survival due to the severe budgetary constraints, questions regarding the operation relationships with the Hawaii Cancer Center, and preparation for the school's recertification by the Liaison Committee for Medical Education. He received the Regents Medal for Excellence in Medical Education and the John S. Hardman ND Award for Service and Mentorship, not once, but 3 times. Comments by his fellow colleagues included, he is steadfast in his principle and always conducts himself with great humility and with great hair. Really, his hairstyle has never changed, just the color, from black to gray. So you gotta look at it when he comes up. He prefers to work behind the scenes. He creates and designs environments that enhance the strength of both the individual and the system at large. Through careful intervention, he has helped many of us overcome challenges and weaknesses. My son Jonathan had him as a teacher when he was here as a medical student and said, even if your answer was wrong, he didn't make you feel bad and guided you in the right direction. He's a leader who stands right next to you, doing the work with you, setting an example of creative problem solving while maintaining the highest ethical principles. He devoted his life to teaching, mentoring, and guiding individual students, residents, and physicians. He is an advocate for JABSOM in academic departments, administration, legislation bodies, and national committees. He is a global ambassador for JABSOM. In conclusion, for a lifetime of service to the JABSOM community and emulating the shining qualities that this award embodies, the Friends of the Medical School present the 2021 James S. Burns Award to Dr. Richard Toshihara Kasuya. Please join me in congratulating Dr. Kasuya for his momentous accomplishment. Dr. Kasuya, can you please come to the stage? Emme Tomimbang Burns, on behalf of the Burns family, will be joining me to present the award. Mrs. Burns.
Dr. Kasuya, you seem just like my husband. When I asked, or when the committee decided to institute this award 4.5 years ago, I said, what do you look for, in selection? And they said, every aspect that your husband used to do on our campus, and the way he mentored, the way he, just talked story with everyone and just guided it from the inception. And I can tell by just listening to what you've done, you not only have done it, but you will continue to do so. So on behalf of the Burns family, we just want to say thank you for your being the recipient tonight, and to Lucy, and of course the friends, for keeping my husband's legacy alive. And last but not least, to the class of 2025. We always hear about this doctor shortage, but I'm so excited because by the time you graduate, you will be filling all those shortages that we've been hearing about. So thank you so much. You give us hope.
Thank you. Congratulations, Dr. Kasuya. Dr. Kasuya is one of my very favorite people, and I always call on him for his wise words. So congratulations, Richard, very well deserved. The late Governor John A. Burns envisioned a graduate school of medicine that, along with the law school, served as flagships of a system of excellence at the University of Hawaii. The schools of medicine and law were considered cornerstones in our community's leadership, stewardship, and sustainability. The medical school began during Governor Burns' third and final term. He was so proud of the medical school that he agreed to the use of his name by the school. His son, Judge James S. Burns, continued to see his father's dream come true and gave the class charge for many, many years until his passing. We still save a seat for him at our ceremony every year. I was privileged to get to know Judge James Burns well, and he was such a kind and gentle person. He was very soft-spoken, but when he did speak, it was always something worth listening to. We could all learn from that example. At this time, I am truly privileged to introduce Brendan Burns, the son of Judge James Burns and grandson of the late Governor Burns. Brendan Burns is carrying on the legacy of his father and his grandfather, and he will now give the charge to the class.
Well, it's great to be back in person with everybody. Last year I did this through Zoom, so it's really great to be back in person. Aloha, class of 2025, e komo mai, welcome. Congratulations, you are now part of the medical school's ohana. This is the beginning of a tremendous opportunity for you. You are now students at one of the finest medical schools in the world. It is an opportunity that many sought, but only you were chosen. You are taking your first steps towards becoming what doctors of medicine have aptly been called in this time of global pandemic, healthcare heroes. In fulfillment of my grandfather, Governor Burns' vision, which he articulated during his administration, beginning in 1962 until he died in 1975, of the creation of a world-class medical school here in Hawaii, the John A. Burns School of Medicine, or JABSOM as we know it, is a medical school that continues to make advancements towards a goal of po'okela, or excellence, since its founding in 1965. As we are currently in the midst of the COVID-19 global pandemic, his vision has taken on a whole new significance, as we have now clearly seen the importance of having one of our nation's top medical schools here in Hawaii in order to train the physicians of the future. JABSOM researchers, faculty, and staff members, and graduates are playing a significant role in Hawaii's response to the COVID-19 pandemic, and they all deserve our appreciation and thanks. Medical students of the class of 2025, you're in a very select group of highly qualified students starting a long and challenging but rewarding and satisfying journey to become doctors of medicine. What you do with this opportunity is entirely up to you. As you begin your journey, I would like to humbly share with you a charge for all of you to consider and to reflect upon. As you hear my charge to you, please consider what your identity might be as medical students here at JABSOM. My first charge to you is I urge you to learn about all those who helped this medical school to exist and who are helping it to flourish. Recognize that the taxpayers of Hawaii are paying a substantial part of the cost of your medical education. Especially recognize those government officials who allocate those taxpayer dollars in support of it, and be sure to thank them for their support. Publicize JABSOM wherever and whenever you can. Encourage others to become members of the Friends of the Medical School and to participate in its activities. And you can start with tomorrow's Ohana activities. Always remember that you are the best evidence of the quality of JABSOM's medical education. Second, I urge you to identify, appreciate, and personally thank each and every person who has helped you prepare for admission to this medical school. I'm speaking of family, friends, teachers, advisors, mentors, counselors, donors, and others. Some of them are either here in person or logging on virtually this evening. Third, I urge you to get to know, appreciate, and personally thank each person and organization providing you with the finances to pay for your medical school education. If you are the recipient of financial assistance from a non-family source, take the time to educate yourself about the source of the funds and the reason the source provided the funds. And if possible, personally thank the source of the funds and periodically keep them informed about your progress. Never forget that as members of the JABSOM Ohana, your future contributions to the school, whether they be financial or just simply volunteering your time to the school, will help those who follow in your footsteps. Fourth, take full advantage of the education offered to you by this medical school so that you will become and always be the very best doctor of medicine you can be in whatever area of practice you choose. Never stop learning and always strive for greatness. The American Association for Physician Leadership commented that one of the best leadership skills isn't just possessing knowledge, but being hungry for more. Great medical leaders understand they don't know everything, but they're always interested in growing their knowledge base and improving in their work. In regards to striving for greatness as doctors of medicine, remember the words of my grandfather, Governor John A. Burns, who said at his Hawaii State of the State address in 1966, "Greatness is your heritage, the pursuit of excellence your means of attaining it. Let us not be content of anything short of the best." Fifth, consider making it your goal to develop the traits that all great physicians have, such as being confident, visionary, skilled, focused, knowledgeable, ethical, respectful, adaptable, and empathetic. Each of your patients is a unique person. Learn to listen, to understand, to be compassionate and empathetic in order to show that you are concerned and really care. Make it your goal to demonstrate this with the true spirit of aloha. 6, make it your goal to improve the quality of medical services provided by all other doctors of medicine, hospitals, and other healthcare providers here in Hawaii. You will be in a position to make a great impact in this area. Do everything you can to advance healthcare in Hawaii and the world by becoming a leader in society in the medical field. 7th, as JABSOM is a unique place, one with a rich multicultural and multi-ethnic environment being located in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, carry the spirit of aloha forward with you wherever you serve. I urge all of you, including our out-of-state students, to commit yourselves to providing the people of Hawaii and the Pacific and our nation with the kind of medical services they need. Always recognize and appreciate the benefits afforded you by your predecessors by contributing to the benefit of those who will follow you. Respond by doing all you can to provide the future generations with the opportunities present and past generations have provided for you. This concludes my charge to you, which lays out a possible vision of who you can and will be as you embark on this worthwhile journey of becoming doctors of medicine. Your entire JABSOM Ohana look forward to being involved in your progress and your success. It is for you, with the help and support of your family and friends, to reflect upon what I have shared with you. To you and to your families, congratulations and aloha nui loa. And as my grandfather would often say at the end of his correspondences, warmest regards to you. Mahalo.
Thank you, Mr. Burns, for those very inspiring words to our medical students. Please join me in a round of applause to acknowledge the White Coat Ceremony Planning Committee and volunteers for their tireless work and dedication. I would like to take a moment to personally congratulate you, the class of 2025, as you join one of the most honorable and rewarding professions. Please always remember the privilege bestowed upon you, taking care of patients and their families, who will entrust themselves to you when they are their most vulnerable. I always tell our students, residents, and fellows that we can teach you how to make a diagnosis or do an operation, but we cannot teach you the important qualities of being a great physician: integrity, compassion, and humility. Those are the things they learned at home. So thank you to the parents, families, and supporters of these students. Students, you will learn so much in the next few years, and your knowledge and skills will be important in the care of your patients. But even more important, even when you're stressed and tired, please remember to be kind to your patients, their families, your healthcare team members, your colleagues, your classmates, and even to yourself. It has been a great honor to serve as your mistress of ceremonies, and I thank you humbly. This concludes the White Coat ceremony for the class of 2025. I now ask the class of 2025 to rise and exit the stage. We ask that the audience please remain seated until the class has exited the stage and you are excused by rows. When they finish, please join the class outside in the courtyard on the Diamond Head side of the auditorium. Please remember to maintain physical distance, keep your masks on, and do not gather within the building. Aloha and mahalo to all of you.
us out here anyway.
Yeah.